Every morning before school, I walked 3 miles through frost. No shoes, no street lights, just a path I had memorized in the dark. Almost 30 years later, I am still walking a path before sunrise, just a different one. Pre flight, checklist in hand, same discipline, different flaws. Here's what I didn't expect. The thing that keeps airplanes safe is the same thing that keeps you from lying to yourself. Today, I want to show you the framework I built out of that. I call it flight. If you're new here, my name is Samuel Paita Kariuki. I am an FAA licensed aircraft maintenance technician. I have spent almost 30 years in American aviation. And a few years ago, I started building a technical college back home in Kenya on my family's land in fulfillment of a promise I made to my late father. Along the way, I noticed something. The habits that keep a 200,000-pound aircraft in the air are basically a cure for the habits that keep us stuck. Stuck in bad decisions, stuck in relationships, stuck in beliefs we already suspect aren't true. I turned that into 6 steps. Flight. Now let's walk through it. F. Face reality. Before every flight, there is a walk around. You physically look at the aircraft, not because you expect a problem, but because trusting your assumption instead of looking is exactly what or how accidents start. Face reality means the same thing applied to your life. What are you not looking at right now? The relationship that isn't working, the number in your business plan that doesn't add up, the habit you've quietly decided not to examine. Ask yourself, what am I avoiding looking at right now? That question is uncomfortable on purpose. Comfort is the whole problem this framework exists to solve. L. Learn relentlessly. Sorry, you gotta excuse me. Let me also mention that I'm from the Kikuyu tribe in Africa, Kenya. And we always have a problem with L's and R's. That's one of those things that will get you the time to do all kind of gymnastics in you when it comes to L's and R's. So learn relentlessly. My license doesn't stay valid because I passed a test once. Aviation makes you recertify because what you knew 5 years ago might already be wrong, and the industry doesn't wait for you to catch up. Learn relentlessly means treating your current beliefs as a draft, not a final answer. Now ask yourself, what did I believe a year ago that I would revise today? If you can't answer that question, that's not a sign you figured everything out. It is a sign you have stopped checking. I. Inspect assumptions. Now, checklist exists because experienced pilots and mechanics, people who have done this 1,000 times, still miss things. They were sure they would never miss. The checklist doesn't assume you are careless. It assumes you are human. Inspect assumptions means going one layer deeper than the decision itself, down to the belief holding it up that you didn't even know was there. Ask yourself, what would have to be true for me to be wrong about this? Ask that before the big decision, not after it falls apart. Now, G, grow beyond comfort. In accident investigations, the most common root cause isn't incompetence, it is complacency. People who got too comfortable with a routine stopped noticing when something changed. Grow beyond comfort is choosing the harder, less familiar path on purpose before comfort chooses it for you. Now ask yourself, where have I stopped being challenged? For me, that question is literally why there is a technical college being built on the farthest land right now, instead of me just staying comfortable with a paycheck and a pension plan. H, hold accountable. Crew resource management exists because for decades, junior crew members solved problems and stayed quiet because hierarchy told them not to speak up. People died because the person who saw the mistake didn't feel safe naming it. Hold accountable means building or being the kind of environment where a near miss gets reported, not hidden, in yourself and in the people around you. Ask yourself, who can tell me the truth? And do I actually listen when they do? That's not a comfortable question either. It's not supposed to be. Now, T, take action. Every step so far has been about diagnosis. The last one is the only one that matters if you skip it. Fix the error before the next leg of the flight. Take action means the smallest next step taken now, not the perfect plan taken someday. Ask yourself, what is the smallest next step and when am I taking it? A diagnosis without a correction is just a commentary. Flight is not commentary, it is checklist. It is checklist only, and checklists only work if you actually run them. Face reality. Learn relentlessly. Inspect assumptions. Grow beyond comfort. Hold accountable. Take action. Now, these are 6 steps borrowed from 30 years of keeping airplanes in the sky. Now, aimed at something harder to inspect than an aircraft. The stories we tell ourselves. I built RIST, the Ryder Institute of Science and Technology, because I kept asking myself the same 6 questions about a promise I made to my father before he passed. Facing that reality is what got the land cleared. Taking action is what's putting a building on it. This isn't a framework I read somewhere. It is the one that got me from frost-covered path in Kinangop, Kenya, to a hangar in maintenance. A hangar in maintenance in Memphis, sorry. And it's the one that's building a school for the next kid, walking the same path. Now, if this resonated, subscribe. I'm putting out more of this, breaking down how aviation thinking applies to everyday life. If you want the deeper version of this, my book, Comfortable Eye, digs into the psychology side in a lot more depth. And if you want to see where all of this is actually headed, the link to RIST is in the description. And actually I can tell it to you now. It's ristkenya.org. Once again, ristkenya.org. I'll see you in the next one, and please share this content.